So everything today is going to be happening in the center. So if you've got your back to me right now, please turn around so you can face me. All right. So welcome everybody. You guys can see that we are full here. So I think one of the challenges that we're going to have this year is a good challenge, and that's going to be managing the number of students and managing the not having enough tables and having to have some of us sit on the floor. I feel so sorry for you. So welcome back to our returning students. We've already had a nice long discussion with our new students. Hope you guys are all excited to be here. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. Whoa! Yeah.
So I know you guys missed us. We missed you. I know you guys are so super excited to start writing essays again, do a little bit of math homework. No? All right. So before I forget, I want a message that I just barely remembered to tell the new students. I want to make sure that I share the wisdom with all of you guys too. One of the things that drives me crazy about students your age is that you guys are coming close to adulthood, and there's such a push and a desire to get there, to get to this wonderful world of adulthood where nobody tells you what to do anymore, and life is amazing, and you can do anything you want. And the reality is, guys, is that when you become an adult, there's a lot of people telling you what to do. The people who are telling you what to do are the people who are asking to make sure that your bills get paid. So maybe your landlord, maybe your banker if you have a mortgage on your house. And so they're telling you what you have to do. They're telling you that, hey, you need to come up with $1,500 at the end of every month to keep staying where you're staying. And so that means that, well, in order to do that, that means you got to have a job, which means that you've got a boss who's going to be telling you what to do. And so the reality is, guys, is that all throughout your life, you're going to have people telling you what to do. And so there isn't really a reason that you want to get to that point early. And so I encourage you guys to embrace your childhood. It might not feel like it right now, but this is really one of the best times in your life where you get to maybe spend a couple hours doing homework instead of doing 8, 9, 10, 11 hours of work. All right? You get to be in class and learn all kinds of really cool things and have everybody who's with you right now 100% trying to have you be the best that you can be. So all the teachers, all the staff here, they're all invested in you and trying to help you. This is where it's at, guys. This is the time of life that you guys should be embracing. And so I want you guys to enjoy being a kid. Do kid-like things. Play with your Beanie Boos.
What?
Watch My Little Ponies.
Justin, no!
Play with your little monster truck car. Bring back water ball. So I didn't get to be a kid again until I had my own kids. And once I had my own kids, then I got to be a goofball again. I got to roll around on the floor and play gorilla and play fork and do all the things that are so fun to do, but we get told that it's not the cool thing to do. So enjoy this. Nobody here, no staff member is going to tell you to grow up unless it's to, hey, you know what, it's time to grow up and make adult choices, meaning smart choices. But still be a kid, guys. Be a kid and enjoy your time here. Seniors, you're almost out. It's interesting because our seniors, it's usually right around like January, February, March time. It's our seniors, they start getting that panic. They're like, no, I want to still be a kid. So the rest of you just learn from this. Learn from the wisdom that those of us who've been there before. Learn from us. Be a kid and enjoy yourself. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about today's schedule. So we're going to be here until 11:30. So we've got another hour or so, hour and a half.
In here?
No, it's 10 to 10 right now.
Oh.
And if we don't take that long, then that means you guys get a longer lunch. So let's try to be as efficient as possible here today. We're going to have a passion talk today, and it's our favorite passion talk speaker. Ms. Geis is returning again.
I was about to be so mad.
And other than that, it's really just kind of introductions and a couple of announcements and a couple of talking about what's new kind of stuff. So let's start with the what's new because there's some pretty exciting new developments. So the first is for returning students. You may have noticed that we've now got the former sysadmin room and the former Miss Trish room. So those two rooms, there's now doors between them. So it's now kind of one space as much as we could make it be one space. And so we have a maker space and we have a multimedia room now. And so those are designed to be two spaces where you guys get to have all of your passions flourish. And so Mr. Montello is going to be managing those spaces. He's got two classes as well, but for first period through third period, including advisory and passion time, those spaces are going to be open and available to students. And so we're hoping that that's where the magic is going to happen. And so what's really cool too is we also have, we've got some money this year that could only be spent on very specific things. And so those rooms are going to be outfitted, notice I said going to be outfitted with some really cool high-end tech equipment. And unfortunately this money, because it's not our money, it's money that's coming from the state of California, we don't have control over the purchasing. And so even though we asked for these things 3 months ago, could be another 3 to 4 or 5 months before the stuff actually arrives. And so, so a little disappointing initially, but the cool thing is that for you guys, this is going to feel like it's your birthday every day, all year long, as we get new equipment coming in. So, in addition, in this room, so we're going to have, we're going to get rid of that median board there. We're going to have 4 TVs in this room. And so that's going to, anytime we have any kind of presentation kind of stuff, we're going to look like real high tech, so that's kind of cool. So the idea behind that space, though, guys, is my dream is that really your upperclassmen years, a lot of your learning is self-directed, and so this is helping us move in that direction. And we're going to be experimenting this year. And I'm hoping that you guys who are the upperclassmen who are going to be taking most advantage of those spaces up there, that you guys use it for the purpose that it's there for. And it doesn't become a hang out in the room, put my feet up, and just chit-chat. Right? So my goal here for the 7 hours that you're here every day is that you're learning for the entire 7 hours. And learning looks like a lot of different things. Sometimes it means that you're actually in class and maybe you're taking a test, maybe you're working on an essay. But learning can also be something that's where you're learning something on your own. And you're learning by doing. And so my hope is that you guys are going to have be taking advantage of those opportunities that we give you. In the ideal, we could say, hey, you know what? Half the day is passion time. You guys work on your own passion projects. And which would be amazing, except for the fact that we've got some people who think, oh, passion time, that's my time, and I get to do whatever I want. It's fine if you do whatever you want, as long as you're learning. Okay, so just kind of remember that that's the main primary purpose of why we're here at school. That's why we are here as educators, because we want you guys to be learning, we want to teach you guys. And nobody here, so actually let's do a quick poll with all the staff members here. So raise your hand, staff members, if the reason that you got into education is because you like to supervise kids and you like to tell them what to do. Raise your hand. Just a camera, everyone. So I feel pretty comfortable speaking for the staff here that we're here because we want to educate. We want to teach you. We want to guide you. And there's nothing that makes me more frustrating as a classroom teacher, because I still teach as well. Nothing that makes me more frustrated than having to be the one that's pulling you guys to actually learn and forcing you guys to learn. Hopefully you guys are bringing that to the table. That's your one job. Just to come in with an open mind and be inquisitive and want to understand how the world works. And then our job here as educators is to actually guide you and teach you. And so that passion project space, the multimedia room and the maker space, that's designed to be the place where that happens. And I want you guys to be watching Mr. Montello carefully, because Mr. Montello, what he does in his spare time is he builds stuff and he makes stuff and he does really cool stuff. And so now he's going to be doing that here at school in that space. And he's going to be your guide, and I'm hoping that you guys, many of you, will follow him and want to actually do the similar things that he's doing in that room. Okay? Any questions about those spaces? All right. So, I'm trying to think what else is new. Let me check my notes. Oh, I know something that's new. So you guys notice that you all have new advisory teachers. So the reason behind that is because we're trying to improve our support that we give you guys. And so some of our staff members last year pitched the idea of having grade level cohorts so that advisory can be relevant to what's going on in your life at that particular stage in your life. And so in order to do that, unfortunately we had to do a little shaking up and had to put people into new advisories, because we've got the freshman cohort, the sophomore cohort, the junior cohort, the senior cohort. And so our hope is that this is going to help have you guys, one, learn the things that you need to learn at that particular part of your phase of your life. And then two, also help you guys bond as a class so that we're not using senior camping trip in May as the time when seniors finally feel bonded. So hopefully this is going to happen throughout the entire year, throughout your entire time here at school. And we're going to have lots of cool little retreats and field trip kind of things that we're going to be doing as cohorts. So that's the purpose for that. So I apologize if your favorite advisor is no longer your advisor. Trust me, all of our staff members are really cool, so I think we're going to be just fine. Okay, one other thing that's new this year is you guys are not going to be using PowerSchool anymore to check your grades. What? So we're working as a staff to be more communicative with you and with your parents. And so most of the teachers were already using Google Classroom and then having to do double data entry to move the stuff from Google Classroom into PowerSchool. And so we're doing away with PowerSchool for doing the grading and the gradebook. So we're still using it internally for all the other stuff that we have to do. But from your guys' perspective, everything's going to be in Google Classroom, or there's going to be, in order to actually have your parents be able to check grades, because that's one of the challenges with Google Classroom, is parents can't get into Google Classroom. So parents will be going on to core competency and checking grades in there. Okay, so don't be looking in PowerSchool and saying, hey, how come I don't have any grades in there? No teacher is going to be putting grades in PowerSchool. So more information about that will come later. Okay. So you guys are ready? I think we're gonna end with this thing because this is potentially gonna upset you guys.
Phone policy. Smelling cat.
Yeah, I want to introduce the staff after I do these things. I know. I'm really nervous here, guys.
We're gonna riot.
Okay, so we're going to start off with the one that's potentially going to upset people the most. So there is a new state law effective July 1st, 2019.
Visionary.
That basically says that cell phones and schools do not work together well.
What?
Just a second. Waterfall. So you guys know us, you guys know our staff, and what's so wonderful about our staff, you'll meet the new teachers who are great additions to our staff. These kind of controversial issues, this could have been like an 8-hour, back and forth argument among the staff. And this literally took like 20 minutes for us to all agree on what our version of this policy is going to be. So we know that cell phones are a part of our lives now. And it's also, cell phones are incredible tools that we can use to further our education. And so the idea of following what the law recommends, which is put the cell phones in the bags turned off and don't take them out until you leave school grounds, which is probably how most people are going to interpret the law. We have decided to instead say, no, we're going to leave it up to teacher discretion, and the teacher gets to decide whether or not the cell phone, and it's not just cell phone, it's all, so the law is very, very general in terms of all electronic devices, so your little Nintendo things, switches. So all that stuff is covered by this. So the policy that we've instituted as a school is that the teachers are the ones that can allow the phones to be used. And again, guys, remember that the ultimate goal here is education. And so if there's a legitimate reason and you think that maybe the listening to music is going to help you study, maybe you need to look something up, maybe you need to use your phone to record something for a documentary that you're producing, those all seem and sound like legitimate reasons, but it's your teacher who gets to decide whether or not it's appropriate at that particular time. Okay? So the interesting thing is, I was really proud of our staff for pushing back against what some people wanted to do. So our staff all agreed that without a doubt that we should allow cell phones during passing period and during lunchtime and during before school and after school time. Okay? So know that thank your staff. So let's talk about the consequences. So know that it's real easy. This is something that's portable, real easy consequence. So if you are using a phone inappropriately, then that means that phone, when the staff member asks for that phone, that you give that phone to the staff member. Okay? And depending on how many times this has happened, when you get that phone back will depend on how many times this has happened. So, leading all the way up to maybe we have to have a conversation with mom and dad or your guardian, and they can come and collect your phone, and we can have a discussion about appropriate use of phones. So the only other thing about the cell phones to know is that cell phones do not go to the bathroom with you. Okay? So if you are in class and you are going to the bathroom, the cell phone goes back in your bag. Hopefully that's where it was already anyway, and it doesn't go to the bathroom again. Because there's no reason to have a cell phone in the bathroom. So remember guys, during class time, and class time is any time that isn't lunch, isn't passing period, the teachers are the ones who decide whether or not that phone is appropriate. Okay? Alright. We all good? You don't have to like it, but at least we understand it. So thumbs up if you understand it. Alright. So the other thing that's a little bit of a change. So let's talk about dress code for a moment.
Justin.
So last year we did an experiment at the end of the year with relaxing the dress code a little bit. And for the most part, we're letting most of what we tried at the end of the year stand, with one minor exception. Actually two, well one's just making things a little bit clearer, and the other one is a new exception. So the issue is midriff and the crop tops. So our intent with saying that you could show a little bit of midriff is that you're showing sometimes a little bit of midriff gets seen. Our intent wasn't to always be seeing the midriff and then seeing even more of the midriff when certain things happen. So basically what we're saying now is girls need to, and actually not just girls, this is anyone, if you put your hands up, stretched high, that is when the three-finger rule applies. Okay? Because
Mr. P.
I know that the shirts are a little shorter now. Seriously, I'm not seeing any examples right now of anyone who's even close to not following this new requirement. Okay, so waterfall. That's a little bit more than three fingers.
Naya.
But it's close. So if you were testing, hey guys, so we don't really want to be getting into arguments about how many fingers something is. Just know that if you get called on it, if your fingers, if you were at home and you checked and you were fine at home, then you're probably fine. Okay, but don't, if you know that it's like this high, and you're like, oh, I'm going to argue that, my fingers are different sizes from your fingers, then we're already in an area that we don't need to be in. Okay, so let's not have this be an issue. What we're trying to do is we're trying to have dress code not be an issue because we don't want to have battles with people about stupid stuff. Okay? So the only other thing that is the standard of measurement is a little bit different now. So the short length. So what we're basically trying to do, guys, is we're trying to make it so that we're not revealing too much of. Thank you. Thank you for
Yes, Justin.
using the words that I can't use. So the rule is 8 inches. McLennan, is that it? 8 inches above the knee. Okay? So I think it used to say like 2 inches or 3 inches. So we're just trying to find the length that is actually a reasonable length for shorts. Okay? We left in waterfall. So we left in the bra strap thing. So it's okay for your bra strap to be revealed. Mostly, guys, what we're worried about is we're worried about making other people uncomfortable. Okay, so we're not like revealing more stuff than we should be revealing. But as long as it doesn't make people uncomfortable, then you're probably good. And then the other thing, so what's great is we don't seem to have an issue with this anymore, but we used to have issues with boys and the saggy pants, so that seems like that's not a style thing anymore, which is awesome. But just know that you can't be revealing your underwear. Okay? So if your pants are hanging down and we're seeing your underwear, that's not cool. Okay. So that's it, guys. That was the controversy.
Wow. Ass. Justin, I'm not trying to see no girl's ass.
Hey, clap for controversy.
We're gonna dress code you, bro.
You saw.
Yeah.
Like kinda.
We're going to do staff introductions now, and then we're going to jump straight into the wonderful Mrs. Geisel. Mrs. Geisel, we'll have you go last, so you can introduce yourself and then jump right into your passion talk. Sound good? All right. All right, MC? We're going to go this way. So, good morning.
Good morning.
I thought this was Snet High School. Good morning. Thank you. Kind of expected a little more applause than that, but that's okay. So, I am Mr. McClendon, or MC. I am the assistant principal here, and I am here for each and every one of you guys. I always like to say I'm an educator, as opposed to an administrator and things like that. So if you guys have concerns, issues, need someone to talk to, my office is right upstairs, although as students that have been around here for a while know, I'm never in my office, but you can get a hold of me. Mr. Ball, everybody but you. I love you, Mr. Ball. All right, so that's who I am. I'll pass this on to Ms. Gibson.
Hello, good morning. I'm Ms. Gibson, and I teach English 10, 11, and 12, and also drama in second semester. Who was in my drama class from last year? Who? Yes. We had a blast. So, yes, so for second semester. Yeah, they know. Okay. So I'm excited to be here. This is my 5th year here at SET, and looking forward to making some great memories with you all.
Hi, I'm Miss Rosu. If you're new, everyone just calls me Miss R. I'm one of the special ed teachers here. You'll see me in physics and world history and U.S. history. Great. Hi everyone, my name is Miss Burge.
Sorry, I forgot. That's all right. I just wanted to catch
Also an education specialist like Ms. Rosu and Ms. Bush. This year I'm co-teaching English 9 and 10, Study Hall, and Gov Econ. Guys, my name's Ms. Bush. And I will be co-teaching Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and I will be in Study Hall for a period as well.
Hi guys, my name's Miss Ryan. I'm new this year. I'll be the academic coach, and Mr. Hine. I teach art and business, so if you guys have drawing, 3D graphics, marketing, or the startup.com class, I will be your teacher. I'm also the college and career counselor, so seniors and juniors, I will be getting to know you very well this year as well. Thank you. Hey guys, I am Mr. Montello. Thank you guys. I am the robotics teacher and science teacher, and I also obviously have a makerspace, and I'm really excited to share that space with you guys and building things. And I've worked really hard on my curriculum this year, so now some exciting things going on in classes. You do have to take a safety quiz before you can use the makerspace. Sorry, I don't know if it's just necessary.
I am Miss Lennon.
I love that.
I teach English 9, 10, and debunking Disney. I'm excited to see all of you at some point throughout the year. Hopefully I will see all of you. Also, I teach ELA support after school on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you're ever needing help with anything, please come to my room after school on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I'm happy to help you all.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Miss Jokanovic. So this year I will be teaching a brand new course that we're introducing called Global Studies. It's going to be a really cool and fun course. It's designed for 9th grade only. And then I will also teach 2 modern world history courses and government economics.
Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Ash. I'm your new science teacher. I will be teaching earth science and engineering, physics, and in the second semester I'll also be teaching chemistry.
I'm Miss Castro. Helping you guys in science. With Mr. Walsh, I'm going to be helping in biology. Mr. Ash with earth science and Spanish. And you guys are welcome to ask me any questions, and we'll figure it out.
Hi everybody, I'm Miss Solomon-son. I am an academic coach. I am an English specialist. I'll be with Miss Gibson this year for 3 periods, and for 1 period I'll be with our new physics teacher. I also am your LGBTQIA club advisor, and I wanted to, on that note, speak on the behalf of any students that have different preferred names and or pronouns. Please come to me so we can make sure that we respect that. That's all.
Hi everyone, I'm Miss Marquez, and I'm an academic coach here at SEHI. This is my 3rd year, and I'm going to be in Spanish with Miss Vargas, Mr. Gadara, and in Earth Science, and in English with Miss Lennon.
What's up, guys? I'm Mr. Matero. So I teach geometry, algebra 2, pre-calc, calc, and statistics in the spring. And I have what? I do actually, yeah. This is so yeah, so any questions that you have for math or whatever, feel free. We have a great department. We got a new teacher you guys are going to be introduced to. He's awesome, so.
Good morning. Social science teacher, or one of the social science teachers. I teach social entrepreneurship, influential leaders of world religion and beyond, U.S. history, and documentary design. So my room's usually open throughout lunch, during lunch. If you need any help, you want to come in or just someplace quiet to relax, just come on in. 49ers and Cowboys need to stay outside of the door.
That's right!
Hi guys, I'm Mr. Walsall. Other nicknames, I'm sure there's some of them throughout the year. And I am teaching biology, biotech, and space science this year.
Spanish 2, and Spanish literature. That's a new class that we have this year. It's going to be fun, and I'll see you guys around.
Good morning. My name is Mrs. Romero. I'm your school secretary. I'll be advising a new program that we're starting this year called Ignite. So any upperclassmen who are interested in mentoring incoming students, we're going to be meeting at lunch this Wednesday, and I'll send out an email where that's going to be. Actually, maybe it'll be in Miss Lennon's room. And so we'll be meeting this Wednesday, so anybody interested in joining Ignite, please stop by. Have a great year, you guys.
I'm Mr. Odegaard.
Back up there. Where is it? Where is it?
You can't give someone like me a random microphone and nothing to do. Has anyone seen that meme that says, I am the wrong person to put on speakerphone? That's So, I feel like I've seen half the student population in the first little go-around. But I am Coach Brown, if you don't know. If you get to know me too much, that means you're not in class. So we can be cool, but I'd rather meet you in class than in the hallway. Welcome to Set High. If you're in the wrong building, you gotta go. Just kidding. How weird would that be to not be at the right school? Everyone who doesn't have a schedule, Alright, so glad to see you guys. I like the energy. Earlier the energy was way down. I like it up. I'm supposed to be giving this off to someone else who is Mrs. Geis after me. No, to someone in the... Miss Heath will be coming up
Hey.
next.
Hello, you beautiful hooligans. Welcome back. I missed you. I didn't actually at all. But you're back. Welcome to the new line. You guys are going to love it here, whether you like it or not. Myself and Ms. Hines are in the front office if you need anything, and I have snacks. So let's make it good school.
So I'm Miss Hines. I've already had students say, Gabby, when they came in this morning. So I work in the front office and I also do the lunch. So I'm looking forward to the school year. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Dr. McCurdy.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I earned the misses, so try not to forget that. I earned that. It took a while for me to find the right one, so misses. If you forget, I guess. You'll be alright. Actually, there's some students that still knew me when I wasn't Mrs., so you might hear them say Miss G or Miss Geis. It's all good. If you remember, add on that, that Mrs. to the front. I'll appreciate that. So I get to teach amazing classes here at Set High. I forget what year it is. I subbed for a while, then I started to teach. So I get to teach leadership. So there's 2 versions of leadership here. And then I also teach our strength of mind and body. So that gives you your PE and your nutrition credit. All right? So that's what I'll be teaching. So if you see that on your schedule, come to my room. I got the world and my favorite quote, you must be the change you wish to see in the world on there. So come see me. I'm also here for anybody and everybody. Even if you don't have me on your schedule, come see me. Okay? I got into teaching because I care tremendously about students. So that's just not academic. That's also who you are as an individual. All right? So make sure you come see me. We're all here to help. I've never been at a school where every single staff member, every single adult truly cared 100% about students. But that's who we are here at Set High. So raise your hand if you're brand new. So if you're a freshman or brand new. I was like, oh, put your hand down, boo. Welcome home. Welcome home. Okay, this is where you're supposed to be. I don't know what has led you here, but we're happy to have you. Okay? I don't know what led you here, but we're happy to have you. You're a part of this family. Okay? Cool. So, I have the honor of being the very first Passion Talk, and I got to do this last year as well. And every single time that I speak in front of students, it feels crazy. Because when I was sitting in your seats, when I was a teenager, I was extremely shy. I still am in new situations. Once you get to know me, then I'm nuts. But at first, I'm very shy. But when I was a teenager especially, I had no self-esteem, no self-worth, and I really just struggled with myself. So the fact that I'm standing in front of you today should tell you a few things. If you right now are sitting there and you're nervous and you don't know about this whole Set High thing and you're lacking some self-esteem, self-worth, that was me too. I never dreamed that I would be a teacher, and I for sure never dreamed that I would be speaking in front of you. There's no way. I wanted to avoid presentations in class as much as I could. So if you're sitting out there and you're like, dang, I know I'm gonna have to do presentations in every single one of your classes, which might be pretty accurate. Here at this school, just know that I was there too. And I would have rather taken like a bad grade than get up in front of people, but here I am now. So I say that to you, not to impress you, but to impress upon you that whatever you choose to do and whoever you choose to be is who you will become. When I looked around at the kids that I grew up around, I looked to my left, looked to my right, and looked at like some substitute teachers we would get, I'd be like, oh, heck no. I'm never being a teacher. Why would somebody do that to themselves? And yet, I've been teaching, this is like my 14th year in education. So that's another little tidbit of information that you never know. So while you're here every day, take the chance, take the opportunity to be open, to grow and to learn. Because you never know that piece of information that you might learn or something that might be ignited inside of you that might take you on a path that you didn't know you were going to go on. The moment that I actually decided I wanted to be a teacher wasn't until second semester, sophomore year in college. I went into college believing that I was going to be a physical therapist. I grew up playing sports. I love to help people. That's what physical therapists do. Why not help athletes get back on the court, get back on the field, whatever their playing field is. And then I realized that science really wasn't my thing. And I had to be a science major. I had to be a biology major at USD in order to do that. And I was awful. So what happened was the summer in between my freshman and sophomore year, we started a softball camp. So I played softball in college at USD. And I got this opportunity to be a coach. So the first week we had 8 to 13-year-olds. The second week we had 14 to 18-year-olds. Some of these girls had never played softball before. So they came in not knowing how to throw, definitely couldn't field a ground ball and throw it to first base. So something happened to me in that first week. The girls that didn't know or couldn't field a ground ball and throw it to first base, at the end of the week, were fielding ground balls and throwing to first base, and I got so excited. And I was like, why is that so exciting to me? Why do I love so much that they came in not knowing what to do, and now they know what to do? And that was the spark for me that said, dang, maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Maybe I'm supposed to teach. Maybe I'm supposed to guide. And so I switched my major. And the very first class that I walked in at USD that was teaching me how to be a teacher, the first step I took into the class, I was like, oh, that's what it feels like when you found your thing. And I'll never forget that teacher. Her name was Carolyn Henry. She came to my softball game. She made me signs. She was the type of teacher I wanted to be. But I didn't go into college thinking that. And I definitely didn't think that in high school. So you have to be open. You have to be open to what brings you joy. You have to be open to what sparks your heart. Pay attention to those things. Pay attention to the things that you do that you lose track of time because you're having so much fun. You're so engaged. You're always creating and thinking about those things. Pay attention to those things. Pay attention to them sooner than I did. Because when I tell people I became a teacher that knew me back then, they're like, oh yeah, of course you did. And I was like, y'all didn't tell me nothing. Let me try to figure it out, which is good too. But they knew it somehow and I didn't know it yet. So, being here in front of you and speaking, I always get nervous no matter what. And understand that this is like a small room of people that I normally speak in front of. So I always get nervous. Every time. So when you see people and you think, oh, I could never do that, yes, you can. Every time I get nervous. And I do this on purpose. Like, a teacher isn't telling me I have to do this. Like, I do this. I'm like, yeah, sure. So the difference between people is that I'm not special. It's just that even though I'm nervous and even though I'm scared, I do it anyway. So fear and anxiousness and nervousness, to me that just means you care. So anybody that I've ever talked to about giving a speech, right? I had the beautiful pleasure of going into Miss Lennon's class last semester and talking to students about preparing for their speeches. And one of the things that I always tell them is that being nervous is just a sign that you really care. So embrace the nervousness. Embrace being scared. It means you're going on a new adventure. And there's not many things cooler than a new adventure. So how did I even get here? Does anyone know where Spring Valley is? Dang, that's a lot more people in the room than normal. So I grew up in Spring Valley, raised by a single mom. And I was told how terrible I would be in life. Not by my mom, but by many people in the community and outside of Spring Valley. So if you come from a neighborhood where people tell you that you're not going to amount to anything, me too. If you come from a neighborhood that wasn't always safe, me too. If you come from a neighborhood where people were in gangs and people were getting shot and stabbed, me too. If you come from a neighborhood where people were like, you'll end up either on drugs, in jail, or dead. That's what they said to me. So, I'm here to tell you, and again, this is not for you to praise me or anything like that. I'm just letting you know that I wanted to do the opposite of everything they said I would be able to do. So I'll either be on drugs, never done a drug in my life. I'll be in jail, never been to jail. Obviously I'm not dead because I'm standing here talking to you, so that one, eventually, right? Eventually. But you're right. Maybe I'm undead. You don't know. Maybe I just look good today. I don't know. You never know. You know what I mean? So, my point in telling you this is there might be people surrounding you that tell you what you cannot do. Those people might even live in your homes. I'm just letting you know that if you decide to live to the low expectations of others, go ahead. That's your choice, just like it was mine. Some people that I grew up with did end up in those realms. There was this guy that I knew in middle school. It hurts me to tell this story every time. There was this guy I knew in middle school who I just thought was the coolest dude. His name was Jabari. Jabari was like unfazed by the stupid stuff. He was funny, he was well liked, kind, great student, worked hard, and I admired him. Because middle school is when people start to cuss, when we start to feel like we're cool. Like, yeah, we cussing, we cool. But not Jabari. Jabari, for whatever reason, was like, nah, I'm not going to cuss, I'm going to make up cool words, like cool, funny words. And I was like, Jabari, man, why do you do that? Why don't you cuss like everybody else? He's like, there's so many other cool words to say. Like, why would I waste my time with those words? And I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to be like Jabari. So, I can't say I never cuss, because when people piss me off, then you know. You know. But for the most part, if you ask the adults in this room that have known me for some time, they have not heard me cuss. It's a choice that I make. Not because I'm cooler or whatever, but Jabari influenced me. He had an impact on me. We ended up going to different high schools. He went to Monte Vista, I went to Mount McGill. And then it was some years later, after we had graduated, my friend Trinae, that went to the same high school as me, Mount McGill, was talking to me, and she was like, hey, you know, I was getting my boys something at McDonald's, and this like homeless person came up to me. And they were, you know, it seemed like they knew me, but it was kind of weird. And so she said, he came up to me, this guy came up to me and was like, hey, don't you remember me? I'm Jabari. This kid was strung out on drugs, homeless on the street. When she told me that, it broke my heart. I've had a couple of friends that I went to school with that were murdered. Others that never finished school because they were in gangs, ended up in jail. And yet I'm standing here with you. And that's based on choices. No matter what your circumstance, you have a choice. I don't care what it is. We oftentimes try to make excuses. For a long time, I blamed my dad. He wasn't around. It was my mom who raised me. My mom is my hero. You will hear me talk about her every day for the rest of my life because she is that great. She is amazing, wonderful, my rock, my hero. Did it all on her own. My dad wasn't around, and so for so long, probably until about 7 years ago, I would say, I put so much blame on my dad for my lack of self-esteem. He's the reason. He wasn't there. He said he would pick me up and he never came. He didn't give my mom money to help raise me. For so long, I just kept pointing the finger at my dad. I also pointed the finger at these 2 kids in middle school who bullied me every day. Every day. I went home crying. In 6th and 7th grade. Every day. They made fun of the way that I dressed. I've never really liked what society deems as more feminine clothing. Never. I had really bad acne. Like I just struggled with, especially acne on my face. Just like, I didn't even like looking at myself in the mirror. I struggled. And they made fun of my hair. Now, mind you, I didn't have this afro back in 6th and 7th grade. So, you know. I had what was called a fro-lit. Well, I called it a fro-lit. Copyright. What it was, the one time my dad decided to show up, I got lice. I started playing softball when I was like 9 years old, and nobody in Spring Valley had no money. So, when I started playing softball, we all shared helmets. No one had like their own helmet. And one of the girls on my team got lice, so I got lice. Now my hair is very, very thick. Very thick. And my mom was crying, trying to get the lice out of my hair. I was crying. So she called my dad. My dad decided to show up. Thanks, Dad. Opened up the junk drawer in our kitchen, took out a pair of scissors, and just started chopping off my hair. Woo, dog. I was crying. He's like, stop crying, get in the shower, you'll be fine. No. My dad, mind you, has no clue how to cut hair. He didn't go to no school for that, no barber school, no cosmetology. No. He just started chopping away. And what was left on the top of my head was horrific. It was in a mullet shape, but my afro hair, copyright, fro-lit, right? It was awful. Oh my goodness gracious. My grandparents had a picture of me from that school year, and every time I walked into their house, I put it down. I was like, grandparents, like, you have so many pictures of me. Why? You're so cute. No, you're lying. You're saying that to me because you love me. Like, no. And I would always like put it face down. My grandma would laugh at me. It's whatever. But I blame those 2 kids for, I don't know, I didn't do anything to them. I was this shy, nervous kid, kept to myself, but for whatever reason, they saw me as an easy target. So they made fun of me every day. Called me pizza face because my face was all red. It was terrible. So I blamed them for my lack of self-esteem. But guess what? There's only one person, one, who is responsible for your self-esteem and your self-worth. Absolutely. It's you. That's it. Nobody else. My dad don't have nothing to do with my self-esteem. He was doing the best he could. It might not have been great, but he was doing the best he could. Those 2 kids, to me, looking back, they obviously had their own stuff going on, or else they wouldn't pick on a kid who did nothing wrong to them. So I wrote a little poem, and I am very, very nervous. I've only in my adult life, I can't remember when I was a kid if I ever did, but in my adult life, I have only shared a poem with people, a big crowd, one time. So if I'm going to tell y'all to face your fears, then I have to do that myself. So I'm going to share this with you. It's a participatory poem. So I'm going to need y'all to, when I tell you to say something, you say it. That's how this goes. So, I need y'all to say, dear self-doubt. That's pretty good. I need you to say, you don't even go here. You don't even go here. Good job. So, dear self-doubt, you don't even go here. All you do is get in my way. You stop me from going after things I really want. Honestly, you're really annoying. I think we need to break up. I need you to say, dear lack of self-esteem. Dear lack of self-esteem. Ain't nobody got time for you. Good job. Dear lack of self-esteem, ain't nobody got time for you. All you do is get in my way. You make me believe I'm not capable or worthy. Low-key, you're really frustrating. I think it's time we see other people.
Bars.
I need you to say, dear fear.
Dear fear.
Bro, you catfish me. Good job. Dear fear. Bro, you catfish me. All you do is get in my way. You are F for false, E for evidence, A for appearing, R for real. False evidence appearing real. Basically, what I'm saying is you're fake. You are officially blocked. Say, dear haters. Dear haters. You need to calm down. You need to calm down. Say, dear worry. Dear worry. Thank you. Next. Thank you. Next. Say, dear anxiety. Dear anxiety. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Say, dear self. Dear self. You're in control. You're in control. You have everything you need. You have everything you need. You are loved. You are loved. You are worthy. You are worthy. You are enough. You are enough. You got this. You got this. You got this. Sincerely, Nikki Geis. So I wrote that specifically for you. And as a reflection on what I've had to come through and go through and fight through to become the person that all of a sudden suddenly appears to people that is confident. It took work to get here. It took me deciding not to blame anybody else, but to decide that I'm in control of me, I'm in control of my self-esteem, I'm in control of my self-worth. Nobody is to blame. It takes work. Whatever you want to do and whoever you want to become, it takes work. The beautiful thing is that you are at a school that embraces where you're at. Here, you get to come as you are, with the hopes that you leave better. Here, you get to come as you are, in hopes that you make the choices that will help you leave here better. You're going to have to make significant decisions to make that happen, because what we have here at Set High is a culture unlike any that I've seen. As a reminder, I've been in education 14 years. I've grown up in San Diego my entire life. I speak at schools all around San Diego. I've taught at other schools. This place is different. It's not perfect. It will never be perfect. We have weaknesses just like every school, but our strengths are really strong. They're really important. Our culture here is one where you get to come and be exactly who you are, whatever that means. And I haven't had that before. Before I came to Set High, I always had to really watch where I was going in life. Watch who I was saying yes to. Hide pieces of myself. But not here. Here, every piece that makes me up as an individual is not only accepted, but it's celebrated. That's who we are. Now, we're going to mess up sometimes. I'm not going to tell you that bullying doesn't happen here, because that would be a lie. What I am going to tell you is that when we know about it, we do something about it. And I'm not just saying that about the staff. I'm talking about the students. When we see stuff isn't going the way it's supposed to, people speak up and they say something. Because when your guardians drop you off on this campus, they want to know, they want to have the peace of mind that they're dropping their child off, their loved one off in a safe place where they can be respected, loved, and also pushed to be the best version of themselves that they can be. That's who we are. We will continue to work on our weaknesses as a school. Will you continue to work on your weaknesses as a person? Because the crazy thing about this school is that sometimes groups of people that may not have a voice in other parts of society have a voice here. And that comes with responsibility. I have longed for acceptance in many ways in my life for a very long time. Even though I'm biracial, when people see me, they see a black woman. And with that comes a story, possibly, that they create for themselves. There's this amazing TED Talk called The Danger of a Single Story. It's brilliant. And it really focuses on the single stories that we create for people just by when we see them. So the single stories that people may have created for me in my life, being a black woman, is that I'm loud, ghetto, especially when they know I come from Spring Valley. They create a story about what that means. Oh, she's ghetto, she comes from the ghetto, blah, 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 blah. I'm a woman. I'm proud to be a woman. That comes with a single story for people. Oh, well, she can't probably carry this because she's not as strong, or she can't do this because she's a woman, or this is the profession she's supposed to be in, or this. And the one that I hid for the majority of my life, and instead when I'm here, I say it loud and proud. When you walk into my room, there's no doubt about it. When you hear me talk about my wife, you will know that I am proud to be gay. That has been a journey. But here, it don't matter. Nobody cares. I say these things to you because it was a journey to find my voice. It was a journey to seek acceptance and then get it. So I have that now. But am I giving it? See, it does me no good to be part of these minority groups and gain acceptance if I'm then going to use that to discriminate against other people. That just seems dumb. Like, that don't make no sense. How do you use your voice? How do you use your acceptance? How do you use the fact that you are at a school that embraces you for who you are? Now that you're accepted, do you give acceptance? There's a whole lot of different views in here. There's a whole lot of different stories. Let's not write somebody else's story for them. Let's allow them to tell us their story. Engage in getting to know one another and what everybody's story is. For the new people who have come here, I don't know what your story is. I don't know how you got to walk in this building today. I don't know if your parents were like, you're going to say hi. Or if you, maybe things weren't going well at another school. Maybe there was trouble at another school. Maybe we weren't making the best decisions at another school, and that's how you got here. I don't know what it is. Okay? But I'm willing to get to know your story. I'm not going to create your story for you. If you had trouble at another school, you're not at that other school anymore. You're at SET. So you have an opportunity to create a new story. For all my returning students, I don't know if you wrote a good story last year or not. Maybe you did. Maybe you did. Maybe it was kind of good, and then sometimes not so good. Guess what? New chapter. New chapter. We're not going to take you on the story of last year. You get to create who you want to be this year. So if that chapter of last year wasn't great, do something about it. Create something new. Write something new down. If you wrote an awesome chapter last year, here I said, write a better one. Get some editors. Make sure you actually have the story that you're trying to create. That's what you get to do here. Okay? Create your story. Create a good one. Create one that you would actually read yourself and be like, dang, I'm going to keep turning them pages. Create an amazing story. I get to teach you leadership. I told you all that. Leadership is complicated. Sometimes you lead by example. Sometimes you got to open your mouth and say something. Sometimes you got to create something new. Sometimes you need to make something better. Sometimes there's just one other person that is looking to you to be their guide. Sometimes it's a bigger group of people. Leadership takes work. You don't get to just proclaim, I'm a leader. No, bro, if nobody's behind you, you ain't leading nobody. Leadership takes work. It's constant reflection and growth. You cannot be a leader if you're not committed to growth. Commit yourself to growth. Lead yourself first. You can't lead other people if you can't even lead you. Lead yourself first. Then don't call yourself a leader, just be it. Don't talk, do. Here's what I know is going to make you successful at Set High. This is going to involve your participation as well. Everybody say, take responsibility.
Take responsibility.
Woo-wee. This is most likely the biggest one. Take responsibility for yourself, for your academic success, for your journey here. We're going to give you what you need. We're going to provide a space. You heard how people responded to every single staff member. Even the new people got applauses. Y'all don't even know them. But you applauded them. Why? Because that's what we do here. That's who we are. This staff, I am telling you right now, coming back and seeing all of them and meeting our new additions, I'm telling you right now, you have the staff you need to be successful. So if you're not successful, look in the mirror. Straight up. You have so many opportunities to be successful here, but you have to stop pointing the fingers at everybody else and just take it for yourself. Take responsibility for your journey, for your success. Everybody say participate. Participate. See, you're already doing that. You started out good. I'm proud of it. Participate. You need to participate in your own success. Participate in what goes on in the school. I went to a huge high school. Everybody went to everything. Every event, everybody was there. If you didn't go, people was like, what's wrong with you? I didn't go to enough. I didn't go to enough dances. I didn't participate as much as I should have and wish I did when I was in high school, and I regret it. Participate. When we have things going on here, be involved. Try something new. Participate in your success, y'all. This is your life. You're going to leave this campus one day and you're going to hit that world, and it's all on you. We'll plant some seeds for you. We'll water it sometimes for you. But you have to participate in your own growth. Decide to get better. Decide to grow. Everybody say connect.
Connect.
Connect with each other. If we were meant to be on this planet alone, we would be. But yet I'm standing here in a room full of people. Connect. Connect with each other. Okay? Connect with each other. Listen to people's stories. Ask questions. Don't create somebody else's story. Don't try to put all the stupid stuff we might have learned prior to now onto somebody else. Connect. Connect with each other. Connect with us. We're here. Our doors are open. Connect. This is your family. Like I said, to all the new people, welcome home. To all our returners, welcome back home. Everybody say expect.
Expect.
Expect great. Expect great. So many people walk around like, Miss G, I'm not good at this. I can't do this. I can't. Expect great. Why are you expecting bad? Why are you expecting to do bad on the test? Why are you expecting to do bad on the essay? That doesn't serve you. Expect great. You're great. So you're welcome. So expect it from you. Don't expect mediocre. Don't expect terrible. Expect great. If you need a reminder of how great you are, come see me, I'll remind you. I'm also going to let you know when you're messing up, but that doesn't mean you're not great. It just means a mistake was made. You know how many mistakes I made? You can't even, no, there's not enough fingers and toes in this room to count all the mistakes I've made in my life. And I'll make more. I'll make more. There's so many of them that I am terribly disappointed in myself for. And then there's some of them where I made a mistake, I was like, that was dumb. Do better next time. Expect great. You got a question for me already? It's day one. Of course you can.
I was kind of like, wait a minute. All right.
Hey, Kevin, you know how Texans are scared first, love second. Like, that's how it works. Here's the bottom line, y'all. Here's the bottom line. I love you, and I care about you. And every single staff member on this campus is here for you, but we're not here to do it for you. We're here to push you so you can become the best version of yourself. We're here to let you know when you're messing up, and we're here as a shoulder to cry on when you need it. I didn't know if I was going to share this, but now that I just said that, I will. I actually have only told one person at this school this. Last Friday, getting ready to, my daughter cheers at Mount Miguel. She's a varsity cheerleader, her junior year already, which is crazy. We are getting ready to go. Me and my wife, dressing all red and black, got our taco shop, ready to roll into the game. I get a phone call. She's crying. Nikki, I need you to get here now. Yeah, sure, why, what's up? Drew's dead. Drew is the oldest child of my best friend, who has had seizures his whole life. He is so awesome. He's kind, and he's gentle, and he's a lover, and he's so amazing. And he's gone. We're going to go through stuff. We're going to lose people. And we're here for you for that. This is not just about your academics, y'all. Please believe me. We understand that when stuff is going on for you emotionally, it's going to affect your academics. We get that here. You're not a number here. You're a person with a story. So when you're going through stuff, open your mouth. Don't do it in silence. Speak up. Let us know so we can help you. Man, Drew had bigger hair than me. 24 years old. Beautiful human being. Just amazing. Wasn't afraid to ask for help. He would call up me and my wife when he was struggling with something, need some relationship advice. Nikki, this girl, man, oh my gosh, tell me about her, Drew. We're here to help you. Last week, oh my goodness gracious. Last weekend, not yesterday, but the weekend before, I did my first spin class. The staff is laughing because they know what I'm about to say. I was in the most pain I have ever been in my life. All of last week. And all the staff was here, working and meeting and figuring out what to do with all y'all. right? And I was struggling. S to the T, ruggling, y'all. Struggling. I could barely walk. Like, it was terrible. It was really, really bad. And what was already in the schedule was a hike last Wednesday. Oh my goodness. I'm still alive, y'all. It was rough. I had to ask for help. I don't like asking for help. I know how that feels. I was raised by an independent, strong woman who didn't ask for help. I learned some of those same traits. Sometimes you do need to step it up and do your thing and fight through. And then sometimes you need to ask for help. So I had to ask for help on this hike. It was brutal for me. I did the best I could to laugh through it and make some jokes, but my goodness was I hurting. So I asked the beautiful Miss Castro and the beautiful Miss Lennon to help me. And they literally, like, my hands and arms were like, I put all my weight on their shoulders to get through this hike. I had to ask for help. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. I'm going to say that again. Asking for help is a sign of strength, not a sign of weakness. Ask for help. That's what we're here for. We love y'all. Welcome to the best school year ever, y'all!
I'm going to Starbucks.
All right. So we're down a half hour early, guys. So that means we get a longer lunch.
Oh, shit.
So we are going to